is the USA case. And for the other countries, we are lagging behind. But this pandemic pushes us to grow this percentage. So now who need to know about this digital economy? Only the economics students, business students? No, this will be needed for everybody who live in the society. If anyone claims to become a social human being, he must know and he must engage in digitalization process. Though previously it was discipline derived, but now it is for everybody. So the stakeholders are everyone, including the children, the old age, literate or illiterate, everybody. And all the business activities, the consumers, and the others, ordinary people. Everyone now engaged in the digital economy, and they must be aware about the issues. And this digital economy issue will bring the shared prosperity and will help to reduce the poverty, will help to increase the economic growth and create new jobs, increase the efficiency of our regular activities. We are coming the debate on this issue, but this is the prosperity. At the time of industrial revolution, those countries missed the train, but now this is a big chance. And this is the way we can eliminate our poverty and we can compete with the developed nation. In case of the academy and our students, how can we involved in this digital economy issues? We already saw that in the pandemic time, our classes are in online. And our communication mode, even supervision, even the lab work is online. The students community, especially the science student or experimental those who have involved in experiment in research, and the young star, the kids are the sufferer group of this COVID-19 because they need physical interaction. But somehow, it's already almost 2 years, we adapted with this system. And that academia is one of the massive group who suffered lots because this is the time to cherish and nurse our youngsters. And they are actually nursed by television. In fact, the talkings we are doing is like a television. So what the lesson we taught, what the message we are sending them is everything as news to them. There is no physical interaction, there is no eye contact, there is no body language, there is no learning of manner. There is only the information. This is as the Google. If we search in the Google, we get lots of information, but that is not the knowledge, and that's not the wisdom. Through learning based on Google, it's not create a good leadership. It will not create good humankind. So our students community and academia faced lots of challenges in this pandemic times. The challenge we will face in next 20 years without these COVID cases, now we already adapted with the system. So this COVID is one sort of blessing for us to adapt with the digitalizations as quick as possible. Especially the developing world where the infrastructure is not that updated, our internet connections and connectivity through internet or remote was not that much as like as developed countries. But this COVID cases encourage our policymakers to focus on this issue. So we are already one step ahead due to pandemic. But the other scenario is how we are lagging behind. We are just trying to set up the platform where we can deliver our lecture. But in against, if you look the mock courses, massive online courses that offering is like the Udemy, Coursera, edX, there are many, and they're offering one lecture at a time for 100,000 students. If you go Coursera, I found one course and a student subscribe more than 100,000. Can you imagine one class at a time, 100,000 students join? And their technology is that much advanced. We are struggling with our subscriber or our ad participant list 100 to 300 or 500, and we are very much shaky what should be our participant list and how much we should pay, whereas their technology is like 100,000 at a time in the same platform, same streaming, live streaming, very smooth. And that's the way we should think how far we are behind than the developed countries or in this digitalization race. Okay, Alhamdulillah, our countries are progressing. At least previously our students had nothing. Many of our students are in the remote area, but now they are catching up. At least they can join, but still we are far behind. The technological progress, 100,000 participants in the same time and 100 participants in the same time is not the same. The level of works, infrastructures, and the development behind this is huge. The change is huge, difference is huge. So our policymakers and our human skills or human resource should cope up with this system, and we need to cope very fast. The world is moving very fast. Then merit of the digital economy. So just I give an example already about the merit in academia, but this is for every sector, because now the world is in your hand. World is based on the mobile phone, world is based on internet, and everyone is connected through virtual community. So this is the way to engage many people at the same time. Previously, if we think the conventional economic thought, like the factors of production, we thought factors of production is land, labor, capital, entrepreneurs. But now you see, and then otherwise the technology joined later on. But now you see who is in the first place. Technology, human capital, and the labor will become abundant very soon. Most of the labor will become a burden. Till now, we thought we are the developing world. We have human resource. We have lots of human, and very soon it will become a burden for these nations. And this is, we are still struggling with our overpopulation. We are not able to manage them as a human resource or skilled people. And in the coming era of digitalization, that will become a very big burden for the policymakers. And the economic factors of production, land is for the physical product, but now it will become virtual. Except the food or very basic production, most of the cases, you have no need any office. You have no need any universities, hostels. Thousands of infrastructures were useless in last 2 years. If you look at university campus, previously we were not able to accommodate our students, thousands of students, but now everything is empty. So big classrooms, so big resources are empty. And there is no way to use them in the last 2 years. Maybe they're coming back now, but it's still most of the cases, our mindset have already changed. We are adapted in different level. The people who live their life standard before pandemics and after pandemics will not same. The behavioral change happened too much. People are adapted with new style in last 2 years, and adapting a new thing in your behaviors is take 1 month. But whenever we are go through this process in the last 2 years and is still going on this issue, so we are highly adapted with the new system. Even after pandemic, if everything is open, everything will open, we still cannot go back in our old phase, cannot go back. So if we think the old economic theory, like the factors of production, that's already changed. And if we look at our marketing, the 4 P's or 6 P's, price, place, promotion, product, that's already changed. The whole issue in now in different dimensions. It's called a completely shift the curve. It's no more along the curve. It's already shift the curve. We are in different phase. So there is a big structural change happen. And the key point is the online here. Key point is the internet. Key point is the connectivity. And the e-commerce arises in last 2 years huge. So everything we order in online, and even the food. Now people, even if I saw when the lockdown open, people don't want to go in the restaurant. It is not for risks, health risks. It is behavioral change. Even if open everything, people will not go restaurant as before. People like already they are adapted to cook in last 2 years. So they like their taste pattern change. They're liking change. So they like the outside food. But if you see after opening everything, that will not go back in the old place. So the people, the business people, the education sector, the students community, we need to think differently. The research community need to think what is coming, not what is going on in the whole pandemic. We should to cope up after the pandemic, what will come in. And we see already the symptom. So e-commerce has arisen too much. And all the goods and services are in digital. We cannot access bank in last 2 years, but we are not out of bank service. We didn't able to access insurance or financial interactions. We did it in online. So everything goods and service and their tools, product changed. Business need to change to survive. And the community already changed. So we already get the product in different form. We are not using the cash money, the notes or coins. Now it's on online, it's digital currency. We do all of our transaction, most 80%, 90% of our transaction in online. So there's no interaction with physical money. And then physical and the online is also more transparent. And government also like this because every transaction has a record. There is no underground economy and there is no black market because every transaction is in online. Everything has a record. So if you do any transaction, there is a record. So government also like this and business also like this because they can reduce the corruption. And another issue is after the pandemic, we need to follow the world. We cannot go back in the old phases. Still, we are thinking when the country will open, when the lockdown gone, will make our life as like as before. But it's not as like as before. It's never ever as like as before. The world already changed. So after the pandemic, think how we can adjust with the new world, because this is a demand of time. In the pandemic time, suppose our office, all the office said now it's emergency time, we need to respond our communications instantly. So every one of us using the social media or mobile phone continuously. Like if we use the social media platform, WhatsApp or other software, spontaneously we are replying. It's 24/7. No break. People now forget about the office hour. There's no office hour. We are now living in a virtual life. No office hour. 24-hour communication. And even when we do communicate now, it's too much virtual. When our office hour finish, another country already started their morning. So their office hour is started. And many of our meetings, those who are internationalized, many of our meetings are at the midnight. So in the midnight, you need to wake up, dress up, take makeup. Well, that's a different story. Huh? So now it's a demand of time and trend. We cannot go back. We need to think forward. And there's a high potential to grow. That's I mentioned the industrial revolution happened. The developing countries missed that time. Now it is the time to participate, to join, and to compete with the developed nation. And the whole the things will time saving and money saving and make you more progress. So there is no alternative of digital economy. So digital economy is very broad. So far, I try to give a sense how broad it is. Previously, we think it's only the IT, software, programmer, developer, different people, only for one discipline, concentrated group. Those who work in the organization, but in one tiny part, they are not in the mainstream of the organization. Even in the big organizations, we see these people are like work behind a very small part, but now they are in the front line. Even you see if you see in university the computer departments or the supporting departments, those who provide you the technological support, we didn't consider them in the main university functions, but now they are in the main core team. They're in the frontliner, even frontliner before the academicians, because we are waiting for their service too much. And academicians also need to engage with them and know the infrastructure, know the service. So digitalization is in the front place. And in our sense, the business and economics people, still we are not the technical people. So we are in the end user, we are not the developer. In our cases, we are the people or the e-business people, or we are the end user for the business infrastructure that developed by the developer, or we engage in the e-commerce. So in our perspective, rather than when we academia try to develop the developer or human skill on technology, we are end user and we look e-business or e-commerce issues, and the technological people look the infrastructure issues. So the main digitalization for us, the end users, especially the e-commerce, one part is the e-commerce. We see everything is in online. So it's create new job for SMEs. All the trade expansion, every business, everything, all sectors in even physical sectors involving digitalization. Like if you want to go somewhere, you need to use the Uber. So you need to use the software to call the taxi. So that's change is so rapid. Even if you want to eat, you need to call the food delivery system. They bring food at your door. So the disruptive effect so much, and we are adapted with the social media so much, only the communication with the social media. or the technology that pushes us to more on e-commerce. So you see everything is now in e-commerce, even the physical interaction, even the transportation or food. So food industry previously in the hotel and restaurants, now hotel and restaurants also highly interlinked and dependent on technology. The youngsters, the new people's new business group, students group, or next generation. So they are focused on entrepreneurship. And that entrepreneurship is not like opening a new business as before. The era had changed. The new entrepreneurs need to learn technology because technology is the basic of all the production factors. So your lands or your labor or your capital, everything is on machine. So digital startups are growing rapidly in the world. So much digital startups are coming now. And most of them try to solve the common goals, try to solve social problems, give some impact on the society. You give the service to the people, so the way you can survive. There are few things important for the new business or those who are the students who will going to the job market or going to in the working field or opening business. You need to be sure few things, or the existing business need to ensure few things to get success under this new digitalization era. The first thing is you need to give the priority of customer expectations. Understand your customer. Even the academia, with the academic institution, we must understand the needs of our customer, what our student wants, what the industry wants. It's very important. And this is a big challenging for the academia. We need to revise our whole curriculum. We need to make it in different dimension. Otherwise, we also cannot survive. And we are struggling too much in last 2 years to make from whiteboard or blackboard to the online. And it was very difficult for many of the developing countries to train their lecturers, to give delivery of message, to give delivery of lecture, to develop online assessment criteria, to develop online teaching content. It's a big, massive thing because it's happened all in one night. And it pushes people very strictly and very fast, moving very fast. And that speed will continue. If we think that speed will go on after the pandemic, it's not the truth. That speed will become more when we go in the real life of the pandemic. And that's the way we need to fight and compete with the developed countries. So the customer expectation should be the highest priority here, what customer is looking for. And I already told it, customers' expectations, demand, behavior already changed for everything. If I am considering myself as a customer of one product, I need to think myself how my demand changed. So the customer's expectation should be the highest priority. And the product enhancement is very important. And if you see the business, if you remember some business like the Kodak, Nokia, or Blueberry, they're the very giant business organization. Now where are they? Vanished already. Already extinct. No more in this market. Once upon we see the Kodak film. Everywhere of the world, all the country, every corner, people use the Kodak film. Now they vanish. Everywhere we see the Nokia is everywhere. Now no more. And new generation don't know even what is Nokia. Why they extinct? Because they are not able to adapt with the change, with the customer demand, with the technological adoption. So technology is moving so fast. If you look the Windows, every year they update a new version. It's very difficult for us to adapt with this system. If you look at the academia, the research, the software we use in our PhD is obsolete already. The thing we learned there's no more in this version in the market. And even our computer also don't accept it, because if the computer, everything is interlinked. So the old version, you cannot run anymore. If we don't update ourselves, we cannot survive. So if we cannot update the product, we also cannot survive. For the researcher like us, we are academics, it's not easy for us to train ourselves of the new software every year. Even we are struggling when the new versions of Microsoft Word come, or new versions of Windows come. We remember the Windows 95, 98, our favorite. But if anybody seen Windows 98 or Vista, or this like, oh, they will vomit on it. The world is changing so fast. And if we are not able to adapt, we are not able to develop our product, we cannot survive. How big it is, how resourceful will vanish very soon. As like as BlueBerry, the mobile phone, the Nokia, the Kodak vanish. There are thousands of companies extinct already due to unable to understand the market demand and product development. So the R&D on the product development is very important for the sustainability of these organizations. And the future business must follow the customer's expectations. If you look at Apple, every year they release a new version. And this is a highly competitive market. If you look at Samsung, Apple, they're fighting so much to release new things. And releasing new things or inventing new is not easy. It's not come at a time or over the night. It takes time, but they have no time. The market is so competitive, you have no time. And our academia is still so much focused on our local people, but that will not happen in future. No longer we cannot survive if we follow this business model. So we need to look the international models, how the top schools are running, how Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge is running. Most of their courses are online also. They run in both mode. And they are doing mostly research in physical, lecture in online. And if you see the students, 100,000 students take the message from one course at a time, then we are struggling of registration process in the seat limit, 30 students or 60 students in one class. That will not survive in the long run. Because it's very truly speaking, frankly speaking, my students and one student from the Harvard University are not the same. And the lecture, my lectures and a professor from Harvard is not the same. When a professor from the Harvard give the lecture in online and they upload the course, and the course fee is very minimum. Many courses have no need to pay fee at all. Only you need to pay fee $50 if you need the certificate. And that's the question of the evaluation. What is the good or ranking, or what is the quality? And definitely the quality is different. My quality and the Harvard professor quality is different. Though interaction, understanding, and lecture is different, context is different, but quality, that also has a value. Now, the point is we are evaluating our university system based on how much our graduate involved in the job market, how they get the job. Or we are prouding to tell it, or our ranking depends on how much percentage of our graduate involved in the industry. Instantly, how much they got a job. But if you look the degree from the EDX or degree from the Udemy, now they are also innovative. They organize the course in this way, not scattered, but a program-wise. If you learn 10 courses, you get a certificate on master's, or if you learn 30-40 courses, you get a bachelor or diploma like this. Now we are in a big challenge. We need to compete with them. With those who are the face-to-face lecturer, very difficult to survive in future. With the university is still following our own model. very soon we lost a large portions of our students. Because whenever industry see the students learning from the edX or Udemy or online platform, and they are doing good in compared to the physical learning or accredited universities, then in the because industry changed the whole game. So if industry wants that graduate, then we will be in a big trouble. So our universities also need to understand the mode, product, and we need a strong training. We need massive change on this issue, product, delivery system. And to survive, we need to find out some way that our degrees is still valuable than online. So product investment is very important. It's not just only for the business, for the academia, for the all other sectors, even the healthcare sectors, tourism sectors, everywhere. So if we cannot develop our product with the market demand, will extinct. Okay, then collaborative involvement is very important. Collaborative innovations, work with the industry, because all the startups from the developing nations are small. We have lots of lackings in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our skills, because we cannot fight. The small startup today cannot fight with Google, cannot fight with Yahoo or Facebook. They are the giant organizations. You cannot fight with your online-based organization with Amazon. They are giant and they are monopoly, and they try to capture all the organizations, all the small startup. It's a big challenge for a small organization to get success. That's why 80%, 90% of a startup are failure case all over the world. Because, and those another 10%, those who get success, they are bought by this big giant organization. They must merge with them, otherwise they cannot survive in the industry. Even if you look the publication industry, you see the monopoly of few publisher only. You cannot survive in this commercial publishers with fighting with these commercial publishers. Our university should understand that our journals, our books, we cannot sell. And this is just like for research, like for the student, few in the library, those who are free riders somehow, or we borrow from each other. Still, we think we are valuing the knowledge, but we are fighting with the commercial people. We are fighting with the business people. We should understand their business model. The business model giving the publisher is different than the business model our universities are following. Nobody read our university books, or you cannot reach it to the people. Our university books, our university journals are only within our community, very small readers. That's why when we publish within our university journals, we have less citation, less outreach, rather than a journals or article published by the giant corporations. And these giant corporations are the business people. They come here for business, not for the knowledge sharing or academicians. They are not the value driven. Very simple. So we need to understand them and understand the motives, understand the business pattern. It's not just only the knowledge base, it's also the business case. Without understanding the business case, it's very difficult to survive. We are doing collaborations with academia, but it's very difficult to survive. And now somehow these business peoples are also driving the academia. This is a very problematic case. Now business peoples, the publishers of the business people, they use the authors free. They will take our writings free service and sell it, make the profit, and they make interlinked with the university ranking with the system, like there are a few ranking, and all the ranking linked with their publication. And that publications is a syndicate. And now university following their ranking, university is also following in their trap in the system to fight with the publishing in that particular index. And that is highly contradictory with the knowledge creation. Our publications, research are most publication oriented rather than it's solving the social problem, rather than it's benefit the society, community, rather than it's development of the country. It's completely in different directions. Publications and knowledge creations are not in the parallel pace. So our universities, our ministries should understand this point, that who are leading us and how we are following their track. Until the collaborations or collaborative innovation, in same for the academia, same for the business, the new startup must collaborate. They must under an association, otherwise cannot survive. And government should protect their copyrights. And this innovation copyright is very critical, because this is very easy to copy. Everything is online. You cannot protect it. You have copyright, but they just change the color, change the feature, change the design. That's copyright is very critical here. So your innovations, your idea will copy very soon. So it's a very struggling condition for the new business startup. Same for our academia. So we need to understand this challenge. This is a big challenge. It's not the innovation only. Innovation is a big challenge for us because we are already lagging behind. We are not trained up as them. And also, we after innovate something, we cannot hold it because it's very easy to copy. And the copyright in this world is also very shallow. Copyright laws and applications in this developing countries are not strong enough. And in case of the online, the copyright is also easily changeable, or the idea easily changeable. If you think the Apple, Samsung, they survive based their own ideas. No, they hijack lots of ideas. You think the Google's, Amazon are based on their ideas? No, their R&D hijacked lots of ideas, because others' ideas are small people, they are startup, so they are struggling. And when they just start with their idea and product, and this big giant organization just steal their ideas and product, and as they have highly resource, they can produce the matured product more quicker than the small startup. They just hijack the idea and produce them. So this is a big challenging for these third world countries or the developing countries. And also the organizational leadership, our existing business, we are still believe in old system. We believe in our old style. We are very much reluctant to change the system. Even everywhere in our developing countries, the whole government process, all the institutionalizations are here, are paper-based, and we cannot adapt, or our peoples are not willing to adapt. Most of the peoples, our senior generation, they don't like to change. So the problem is, it's very difficult, our leadership, to make the change. Even we are willing to change, but it's not easy. It will take a long time. Our institutions, our whole frameworks, some of our laws and enforcement are also not in that line. That lots of challenges will come through this industrialization process under the digital industrialization. But we are still struggling for the old digital industrialization process, that is face-to-face or physical. So whole system need to move very fast, and our peoples need to have their willingness to make the change. Otherwise, we cannot survive. Our industry cannot survive. Our small business cannot survive. The model we are following is changing very rapidly. So another issue is, one is the e-commerce is very important. E-commerce link with the business people. And then the inside thing is the financial technology, the fintechs. The core of the digital economy is the core of the economy is the money. And same, the digital economy core is digital currency. And the approach how the digital currency is moving. So if we look the fintech industry is moving very fast, and they are growing very high, and 78% growth in last 2 years. And if we look the fintech in this region, suppose the Asian countries or the developing countries, our fintech mostly focus on the payment sector. We just use the fintech to pay our money or collect money or remittance or shopping like this. Rather than fintech is very wide issues. So fintech is very wide and it include the every financial issues. Somehow we are still thinking fintech means cryptocurrency, digital currency, or Bitcoin, but this is not the case. If we look the uses of the fintech are the percentage of the change in the social media. In case of the Southeast Asia, see how peoples are using more, how they're spending time more on the online. The country, you see the Philippines, minimum more than 6 hours people on laptop and mobile devices more than 3 hours on an average per person. Indonesia, around 5 hours per person laptop. So people are highly engaged, and even the social media highly engaged. So look at the things they are purchasing through the app, and this is increasing. What they are buying more, the clothes, the makeups, mobile phones, food and beverages, small households, large household applicants, tickets. There are many products. So what are they buying from the online? Then the online consumer activities. So what are they doing in the online? And then the market size in the online is growing so fast. It's expected 2025, it will be 200 billion. But in 2007, it's 50 billion. And distribution of fintech. Fintech has lots of categories rather than just payment and collection. Look at this fintech categories. The Singapore, they are still mostly concentrated on the blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, payments, and investment, 50%. Indonesia, 50% is just for lending, and payment is 23%. So around 75% is for just payment and lending issue. In Malaysia, is quite diversified, not focused on any issue, but the payment 19 and e-wallet system 19%. But this is more diversified. So if you look this the fintech, Singapore has 430 startups involved in the fintech. So this is the criteria of fintech. Under which criteria, how many fintechs are there? This is Indonesia. The most of the payment, 73 are in the payment type. So you can pay through online, through card, through website, through these financial technology services. And lending is 33. And crowdfunding is 9. And in case of Malaysia, suppose this one, payment 50, remittance, artificial intelligence of data acquiring, marketplace through buying and shopping online, lending, and then online savings or online transaction, e-wallet. The other issues, suppose the PropTech, this is something new, how you do the properties in the online. And the RegTech, this is the how you design the legals and compliance issues through using the online service. So every company, every business has their legal issues. So how you make the compliance? Nowadays it's very easy. The software, the companies will do it for you. All the compliance will be there. Then the wealth tech, how you manage your money, resource, personal capital, and then crowdfunding, how you generate the fund for your business. There is no more conventional, you go to bank and borrow from bank. Now that their model changed for the startup, you need to know how you generate your fund. And then insurance also changed is the insurtech. Different model. You have no need to go lots of things, lots of procedures. And the blockchain, cryptocurrency, that's the it's somehow difficult for us to understand. It's a block-based information and it's open ledger. So everyone has the same information. It's very difficult to or impossible to change the information. So information is online based on the blockchain of cryptocurrency technology is more robust and cannot change. And it is not controlling by any authority. That's the issue. Legal and compliance is very important, but this is free. So people are most moving in this direction. So this is the fintech in futures in the Singapore fintech summit last year. They predict that fintech in this ASEAN will moving very fast and it will grow 65% in the next 2 years by this year 2020. So it will increase too much. And Singapore is leading here 42% and Indonesia 20%. So the fintech feature, the futures of the fintech is very important for our understanding. We should understand not the technology, if it is not our part, suppose the blockchain, artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, big data, if we are not able to understand this, but we should understand how we can apply this. We should know the end users of this one, not the development. Development, maybe the engineers or developers or the computer science people do, but academia must do both sides and they should focus on this issue. Or the end user, the other social groups, they should know the end users part rather than the development part. And we also understand the development part to some extent to ensure the security. And this is a big threat is coming. I'm coming on this issue, the security. So why we should involve the development part also. Then crypto and digital markets. If you see the cryptocurrency market, it's like another stock market. The stock is a physical company corporation market. But if you look at the crypto, that's a very wide and there are lots of things are coming in. And many people are focusing on that issue. It's highly volatile, highly risky market because the regulations is not strong there because the research are not enough on that issues. So in future, the researchers should focus on this issue, how digital currency is coming. Many countries offering digital currency, government or official currency. China already introduced it, and Russia also planned to introduce in next year initially. UAE also planning, and I see Nigeria also already introduced one. The currency is a government currency, so we should focus on this issue, and our central banks are already working on this issue to develop the whole matters. But the people get adapted with the system and take knowledge of what is going on there and how digital currency will work. It's not only the coins, digital coins from the private sector, but the government currency also. And the trading, previously we do the trading in a stock market. Now trading pattern is completely changed. If you look at developed countries, 90%, 95% of all of their tradings are done by the robo-advisors, the robotics matter, the artificial intelligence, they do everything. The trader just monitor. But in the third world countries or developing countries, we still believe I can buy the stock or I can buy the coin by using my brain, analyzing. Even in our school, we teach our students how to analyze the ratios of the companies. Now it's too much digitalized, too much artificial intelligence. The machine take all the decisions, and the decision is far better than our individual decision. So the trading patterns in the developed country and developed market, we teach the market efficiency because their market is more efficient. Nobody can beat each other because they are using 99% of machine for everywhere. Everyone is not fighting their brain, the machine is fighting. And even the artificial intelligence, the neuro technology, and the other issues, they use the big data, the algorithmic method. that give the solution based on the machines that also don't show how they do it, and we rely on it, and that's more accurate. That's our personal decision. So the trading patterns of that country are mostly the robo advisors. So if you search in the online, you'll get the things. So if somebody now come in the stock market and think I analyze all the share ratios, everything, I monitor all the market informations, the three form of efficiency, weak form, strong form, semi-strong form. These are the old model. Forget all of this. You can know this, but the applications is very, very, very minimal. If you go in the market based on this knowledge, you lost all of your things. And these markets in these regions are highly volatile, highly vulnerable. The investors we see the financial crisis due to, and another financial crisis will come due to this one, because we are still highly focusing on our human brain rather than the artificial intelligence, rather than the big data.
I'm sorry, Dr. Mahmudul.
Yes, how much money we have? How much time I have?
Your time is almost running out. Maybe you can spend 5 minutes more.
Okay. So
5 minutes.
The mobile banking. We do all the banking in mobile. We save our money in the wallet, or all the fund generating in the crowdfunding. And I already mentioned the InsurTech, RegTech, and WealthTech. Then these are the issues we should know and involve, because these are future of our whole financial system. And finance is the basic of whole the economy. Money is the basic. Whenever we understand the money, how money flows, then we should realize the whole economy properly and interact with the economy properly. But there's a threat on the whole thing. This is not the heaven. There's cyber security. It's a big problem. And data security, personalizations, and anti-terrorism and money laundering. These are the very big matters here. And governments are focusing on this issue. So those who involve here, they also need to be very careful about this issue. And it also has environmental impact. Though it's saying environmental impact reduction, but in some cases, cryptocurrency and blockchain, the Bitcoin producers make lots of environmental pollutions. And there are lots of research on this issue. So future environment is a big issue, as long as SDG focusing on the environmental issues, UN focusing on the environmental issues. So in future, we need to understand both sides, how we interact with the environment. And this region, Islamic finance is flourishing. Many people, 2 billion people in the world are Muslim, and they somehow love the Islamic finance. So the Islamic finance world is moving forward. So Sharia guideline on this issue and fintech matter, all the new issues involved with the Sharia issue. So the new generations, new startup groups, new business people need to understand how to interact with this one. And those who are providing the product, they also understand the Sharia issues here. And the demerits I already mentioned. The big demerits is loss of employment. We lost lots of our labor, and we don't have enough expertise to compete with the developed country. And the initial startup needs huge investment. And our cybersecurity is not that strong. And then there are lots of fraud risks in this region because our peoples are not aware enough. Then our internet connectivity is not strong. And we peoples are not ready to change behaviorally. We are very much reluctant and strict, try to be strict in our old style. And there are lots of other issues. So we should deal this issue very carefully. So this is I'm almost the end. So our academia should focus, how can we develop the curriculum in new way? Or how can we make our graduate compete with the industry? What is the industry demand now? After the COVID-19, industry demand will completely change, completely different. So we should focus on this, how we are ready to serve the industry, how our graduates are ready to serve the industry. And our researchers should focus on this issue in more on digital economy, how we can develop our academia, how can we develop our curriculum, or how our graduate involved in the digital economy, or we the researchers do the research. So we should more focus on the digital economy research, to survive and to compete with the developed country. And recommendation for the business in these regions, especially the developing countries, we try to solve the social problem because our customer base are mostly from this society. So as long as we can serve them, we can survive. We can build their loyalty. So find out the innovative way and be careful about your innovation and how can you protect your innovation, because the copyright is not strong and it's not almost possible to copyright everything. It's possible by paperwork, but in real life it's different. It's very easy to imitate your product. So be careful about this issue. And a startup should be guided and should be focused and nurtured by the government. And that's very important. So if we look at the government policymakers issue, policymakers has a huge role here. They must need to develop the monitoring agency to control all sort of fraud and corruption in this issue, because this is a very big issue, because we are not aware about the types of the corruptions. The cyber security is not strong. Even the bitcoins, they said it is secure, but I saw bitcoins are also hacked. So this is very difficult. It's very difficult to trust on the whole system. Ultimately, this is not the man, this is the machine. So machines can betray, okay? It can be betrayed through the programming, through the developer, through backend. And then government should promote the startup and protect them. And finally, government should be very careful about the level. We have lots of people. How can we utilize these people? Because these people need to engage somehow in the digital era. Because digital business, digital economy works on all the back-end supply chain. And this is interlinked. All the businesses interlinked with each other here. So our government should train the people, should make a good plan. Otherwise, it will become big chaos. Big chaos, and politically is very unstable situations, because people, our voting system depends on people, but our business economy, everything done on the digitalization. So there will be big chaos if government cannot manage it. So in conclusion, the digitalization in the economy is one of the most critical issue in this time after the post-COVID-19. And digital technologies are rapidly transforming both business practices, societies, and they are integral in the innovation-driven economy in the future. So our technologies advancement should be rapid. Our organizations and skill advance are slow. So there's a contradiction. The world technology is moving very fast, but our people are somehow slow. So this gap will increase. To avoid this gap, this is a big mess. Suppose even just for an example, I'm a lecturer, I need to adapt with lots of technology, lots of system, lots of software, too much. Windows is changing too much. Every year they bring new version. Every year Microsoft Word change their version. They bring lots of features changes from here to there. And the software, the running statisticals or other modeling change every year. And their features are changing continuously. It's a big challenge to adapt ourselves and run with the face of the change. Then inventing effective organizations for the digital economy is the grand challenge for our time. The business we are running, like the big businesses also, they need to change too much. If you see the Google or Amazon or Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, their business model, action, features, very swift, and they need to change very frequently for their survival. So it's very difficult for the young startup, new startup, and how they'll survive. Only the way is they need to associate, and they need government support or the overall social support also. And but we must not forget the issue is so much whatever it is the machine, huh? That's not the human. We are human. We have our brain, intellect. We have personal relationship. Humanization is very important. It's not everything machine. It's not just a digit 0 or 1. We are human. We have emotion. So we need to integrate all of this. If we miss this train of digital economy, then it will be a disaster for the third world countries or developing world, then we will be the third world forever. But if we fight with them, we need lots of things. And in the process, we must not sacrifice our emotion, must not forget we are human. So we should focus on this issue, we should move on this issue, but at the same time, our personal interaction, relationship should be highly prioritized. That's all. Thank you everyone for your patience.
Okay, thank you very much for Dr. Mahmudul for your presentation. I think that's a lot of insight we can get from your presentation. So now we open discussion. So anybody, participant who want to ask a question, please do not hesitate to ask the questions. Is there anyone to ask questions to Dr. Mahmudul? Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Yes, there is
Hi everyone.
one.
Let me-
Laksono, yeah.
Yes. Let me introduce myself. My name is FEB Laksono. Hi, Dr. Mahmud. I want to ask you for your feedback about cryptocurrencies. What do you think about digital currencies, especially cryptocurrencies? Is there a possibility in the future that cryptocurrencies will be well received by our society and become a legal currency? Thank you.
Okay, please, Dr. Mahmudul.
Cryptocurrency, that's another issue. Our government should understand the demand. Our government should understand the phase of the world is moving, which way. If government cannot stop people to invest in the cryptocurrency, the developing countries, we are capital restricted countries, we are not open economy, we not allow people to transfer fund, but that will actually lead more money laundering. That will lead more illegal activities. But you cannot stop cryptocurrency. That's why many countries, government already involved in the digital currency. Government understand physical currency will not survive in the long run. If you look the currency, history of the currency, previously we used the barter system. After that, it came the commodity currency, the gold currency, silver currency, and then that's over. We never see the gold currency or silver currency. We saw the paper currency. Now paper currency era is going to end. This is now is a digital currency. Our next generations may never see the paper currency. Okay, so long we are, how many years? 10 years, 20 years? After down the line, 20 years, you'll never see any paper currency. Now we don't see any gold currency or silver currency. So you should understand the quicker way you understand, the quicker way you adjust with the system, the early you can predict the future, you are the pioneer group. You are in the phase. So our governments are already understand, and policymakers are trying to make it in their policy, and many countries now in the phase to develop their own digital currency. So when the government issue the digital currency, then the cryptocurrency is a coin, or you say is based on the blockchain technology. So same technology can use the government, and they can issue new currency. So we can come in this phase. But the another issue is still now cryptocurrency is very risky. The market is very volatile and unregulated, not strong. It's highly volatile. People's losing money, and there are lots of mechanisms there. And still, the platform, those who are issuing the cryptocurrency, there are lots of problem. If you go inside, then you can realize it's take another history to talk long on this issue. But be careful. It is not. It's even a stable market. So I cannot say that it has a chance to fail, but I say it is not yet stable. The stability will come, but it will come. So it's up to your decision. You go in the market or not. You can go in the market for the investment purpose, can go, but not for the regular transaction, because it is highly risky, highly volatile.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Mahmud. I think we all agree that we have to adapt to the technological advance, but sometimes we have to think about the risk, because we cannot just try to apply to adapt, but we don't know about the risk. So next question from Tri Iriani Putri, please. Hello, Mr. Irani Putri.
Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, sir. I'm Putri from Management Program. I want to ask you a question. I read the presentation is about the 4 things to get success in new business in the point customer expectations. I mean, we must to get to customer expectations. So I want to ask you, how do we research customer wants and should we follow the trends? And before you explain my equation, may you explain it with slowly, sir? Thank you.
So your question is, how can we understand the customer's expectation?
No, I mean, how do we research for the customer wants?
Okay, there are lots of research on customers' demand, customer satisfaction.
Yes, and should we follow the trends?
Okay.
That's my question.
For the researcher, first you need to understand the customer's behavior, how the behavior is changing to the COVID-19. So look at the people, how they change their behavior. So for any particular sector, like I mentioned the food sector, how people like to eat food outside. So after the pandemic, are they willing to eat food outside or not? So how the likes of food features, what types of features they like, what types of food supply they like. People are mostly adapted with the canned food, or people are adapted to by cooking food at home. So last 2 years, we are trained on this issue. Then when the market will open, when the country will open, are we willing to go in the outside? Are we willing to eat in the restaurant? Yes, we're willing, but how much? The ratio will decline dramatically. We never go back in the old phase. That's the main issue. So if we understand the patterns, if we understand the consumers' behavior and their demand, what the features they want, how they want issues, how they want the product, so you can make the survey, make the research, and look their social media. Nowadays, the research or the marketing is very precise marketing. It's based on the big data. You go exactly the one customer, the marketing or advertisement go individual customer, understanding the feature of the customer and give the ad only for that customers. And big data, artificial intelligence know what is the characteristics of particular customer. That so much data is there. The data already analyze what types of color do you like, what types of product do you like, which platform do you like, what is your price preference. So they give the advertisement based on your social media. You see some advertisement come in your YouTube, in your Instagram or your Facebook page, that's completely unique than the other people because they understand your characteristics. So this is very precise marketing that's run based on the research, based on the understanding, based on the big data. And huge data is collecting nowadays without our permission or we don't know. So we should research on this ground if we want to survive our business.
Okay, you got it, Miss Irani Putri?
Yes, sir, I understand, and thank you for answering.
Okay, welcome.
Okay. So, is there any question again?
Yes, I have, sir.
Okay, please, Mr. Irawan.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Assalamualaikum. Okay. Syukur kemana nih? Okay. Hello. Thanks, Dr. Mahmoud in here for being here with us today. So I have a question. This is a interesting topic I ever heard. By the way, I think Malaysia have two big island that the population is most there, right? Meanwhile, we have Indonesia. We have the three divided part. Like we have a West Indonesia, Middle Indonesia, and the East Indonesia, right? But mostly, like the data coming from from the journal and article, they're coming from only in Java and Jakarta and something like that. But I just asking your idea. not the exact answer, but like, what the first type? Do you have any first type for suggestion for the government to introduce the term of digital economic in the East and in the middle of Indonesia, where the infrastructure is not pretty supported like that?
Okay, actually, when government take the decision, policy makers, government has their own research team. Very simple. Government has their own idea. Government in this developing world very less rely on the academic research, and that's very unfortunate and also true. If you look at the developed country like USA, and even all of their policy, the academicians are highly involved. When if you see the few ministers or they mostly they engage the academics and they rely on academic research. But in this developing world, our academic research are less prioritized in our policy making, and this is very true. And somehow government, when they develop a policy, they rely on their own data, own findings. Okay, and with the academicians do the research is very small part or is scattered research. But rather than when government do their own findings, they have a large data set and they engage an expert on this issue and bring the consultant on this issue. So whatever they decide, and they look the big picture, all the whole nations and also international influence. It's not only just within the border, but when we researchers do the research, we only focus on one particular topics. And that's why our decisions and government decision is different. And again, government in this region rely very less on the academic findings. We do it for different purposes, or maybe we can influence government, but government run on their own issue. So it's different things totally.
Okay, thank you anyways. Apnar sungai deka hoye follow laglo. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Irawan. So I think that's all for the question, Dr. Mahmudul. Okay, so I would like to sum up this discussion today. So in the disruptive economy is like two-sided knives. If we can survive, we can adapt, and then technological advance will help you to grow fast. But if we cannot adapt or adjust ourselves into the system, sometimes we will be falling behind. So in the digital era, we must keep being creative, learn new things, try to accept the new things, because we cannot live in the past. We have to live in the future. So we have to think what might be the best new system we can adapt and live in the new economy system. So thank you very much, Dr. Mahmudul Alam. I will give the time back to the Master of Ceremony.
Thank you everyone for your patience and feedbacks. Hopefully we'll see again, or you can contact with me if you need any query or any collaborations. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr. Mahmudul.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for our best case teacher speaker. for the knowledge, and thank you to the moderators who guided the guest lecturing session. Before we close this event, we will take photo with you, all the participants, and the honorable speaker, Dr. Mahmudul Alam. Please start your camera and find your best position. Well, the photo session will start. We will starting from the slide 1. 1, 2, 3. The next screen. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the third screen. 1, 2, 3. The next screen. 1, 2, 3. The next screen. 1, 2, 3. There's so many screens. Well, thank you for all the participants and the honorable speaker, Dr. Mahmudul Alam. We also kindly remind you all that the attendance form is available in the Zoom chat. Don't forget to fill the attendance form carefully because the certificate will be sent automatically after you finish fill in.
Oke, silakan Mbak, silakan aktifkan nama dan dari prodi.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. Thank you and apologize profusely if any words that less pleasing to the audience here. Let us close the workshop and guest lecture session by saying hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Oh yeah, something wrong here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mahmud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis merupakan salah satu fakultas unggulan di Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto yang berdiri pada tanggal 1 Juni 1995. Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis telah berkomitmen dan konsisten dalam memajukan dunia pendidikan di Indonesia. Tahukah kalian, fakultas paling favorit dan berprestasi di Universitas Muhammadiyah Purwokerto yang dapat memperluas wawasan lewat berbagai program kemitraan yang tersebar dalam skala nasional maupun internasional seperti Malaysia, Filipina, Thailand, dan Jepang. Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis memiliki fasilitas yang dapat menunjang pengembangan soft skill dan hard skill segenap sivitas akademika. Laboratorium Perbankan Syariah, sebagai sarana bertransaksi bisnis dan praktik operasional dengan teknologi modern berbasis syariah. Laboratorium Pasar Modal merupakan bentuk hasil kerjasama Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis dengan PT Pintrako Sekuritas dan PT Bursa Efek Indonesia. Laboratorium Pasar Modal memiliki tujuan mensosialisasikan pasar modal dan kegiatan ilmiah dalam rangka pengembangan pasar modal di Indonesia. Untuk meningkatkan kemampuan entrepreneurship, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis menyediakan laboratorium event organization dan laboratorium inovasi program. Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis memberikan fasilitas yang nyaman sebagai pendidikan tinggi untuk mendukung mahasiswa menjadi generasi muda yang aktif dan inovatif dengan segala dinamika pemikiran, menjadi beragam apresiasi, serta dibekali dengan penguasaan teknologi informasi. Tahukah kalian, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis memiliki 4 rekomendasi program studi yang telah terakreditasi, yaitu Program Studi Akuntansi D3, Program Studi Manajemen S1, Program Studi Akuntansi S1, dan Program Studi Magister Manajemen S2 sebagai sarana eksplorasi ilmu pengetahuan dan peningkatan intelektual generasi penerus bangsa yang akan menjadi calon pemimpin Indonesia di masa depan. Tahukah kalian, tempat menjemput impian terbaik dan sembari bebas menikmati petualangan dengan ilmuwan dunia yang memiliki visi akan menjadi fakultas yang unggul, modern, dan islami, serta berjiwa entrepreneur. Untuk mencapai visi tersebut, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis memiliki 4 visi, yaitu menyelenggarakan pendidikan, penelitian, dan pengabdian kepada masyarakat secara profesional, menjalankan manajemen Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis sesuai dengan prinsip tata kelola fakultas yang baik untuk menghasilkan lulusan yang memiliki keunggulan dan mampu bersaing di tingkat nasional maupun global. Mengembangkan ilmu pengetahuan dan teknologi untuk menumbuh kembangkan jiwa kewirausahaan sesuai dengan tuntutan zaman. Membekali mahasiswa dengan prinsip-prinsip dan nilai-nilai Islam untuk menghasilkan lulusan yang beriman, bertakwa, dan berakhlak mulia.
Indonesia. The land where we were born, the nation where we grew up. So many colors that live together in peace, with a million timeless treasures, with an abundance of natural wealth.
mana? Kan? Berapa? Yang ini 15, yang itu 17. Kalau yang ini 12.500. Ini 2.000. Nih, ini Ini kalau di